Hello everybody, my name is Jedi, and I had Airsoftkilo, a new subscriber of mine, ask me to do a tutorial on how to do the buffer tube mod that I did on the WEPDW, aka Honey Badger. So, first let's start off with what you're going to need. You're going to need JB Quick Weld, and this stuff sets up extremely fast. There's two different types. There's JB and then there's JB Quick. You really need the JB Quick. You're going to need a good buffer tube. This is a WOC buffer tube. The one that's on my weapon now is a UTG. We do sell those at Airsoft RX. I think they're maybe like 20 bucks. And then you're going to need a stock of your choice. You're going to want to put the stock of your choice on the buffer tube in the configuration that you see it now. You can use this castle nut, or you can just simply put it to the side. I didn't use it. Sometimes I wished I had, but oh well. So, you're going to need a Dremel that's going to have a sanding wheel, and you're going to need a socket. Now, I think this was a 7/8 that I used on this particular mod. The ones that you see here, when I show you, it's going to look a little loose and wobbly. Keep in mind, you just need to take this setup here to your hardware store and look at a bunch of different sockets, put it inside, and make sure it's as tight as you can get it without having to hammer it on. Okay, you don't want to have to hammer it on. The trick is you're taking up as much of this internal circumference as possible right here without having to use a ton of this, which will end up giving you any kind of a play, will make it hard for you to get this thing lined up perfectly. So the whole point, and this is why I like my mod better than anyone I've seen so far, because it takes up all this space. Now, you're going to want a pair of safety glasses. I don't know if I just said that or not. Then you're going to want to take this buffer tube, flip it over. You're going to want to take this Dremel, and you want to get up in there, and you want to get all inside and get all that paint and stuff ate off and scratched up and roughed up. Then you want to take your socket that you're going to be using. You want to do the same thing to it on the outside. Okay? Get all this prep work done first. Then you're going to take your PDW, and you're going to undo it from here. Pull this whole system off so it'll come off from here back. Alright, and then you want to take your rifle, set it someplace safe, and you want to get a small drill, and you want to drill out this pin. Okay? I didn't. I pulled at it and hacked at it. And the reason is, if you drill the pin out cleanly enough, all you have to do is replace it with another pin, which is pretty easy to find, and then you can always go back to this configuration. So if you choose to sell the gun and they don't want it with the buffer tube mod. Once you get that off, this section right here, from here to here, and right inside here is a little nub. And that nub's circumference is the same circumference as that top post of this right there, okay? Which just so happens to fit perfectly inside the drive section of the socket. So you want to make sure you get a little small sanding wheel in your Dremel, sand down inside this socket here real good. Okay, you want to clean off that little nub, get all the paint cleaned off that little nub, and then you want to put a little JB Weld in here with after you mix it up, two parts. You got steel and you got hardener. Alright, you want to mix a little bit at a time. Take a toothpick or whatever and get it and smear it down inside there. Then you want to take that block that I just showed you, where the nub is, and you want to set it up on your workbench to where that nub is facing up. Then you want to take a rubber mallet, insert this end onto that nub, and tap it on. Okay, all the way down till it's completely seated against this piece right here. It'll be completely seated. Okay, now, once that part's done, you're ready to move on to the next. So you want to take, and the reason we put this stock on the buffer tube is so we can grab a hold of it and twist it left or right and front and back until it is perfectly straight and level and looks nice, okay? Then, remember, you got this piece with a big socket hanging off of it. Then you put it back onto the weapon just as you see it with that screw. Alright, now, once you've done that, you want to take your more JB Weld and smear it all around inside here. All inside this area that you just cleaned out. Okay? Once you've done that and you've cleaned off the outside of your socket, then you put JB Weld on a Q-tip and you smear it all down in there real good, and you smear it around the outside of that socket where you burred it up a little bit. And then you want to go back to the gun. Remember, this is hanging off the back of the gun now. Then you want to take your stock and you want to slide it on. Okay? Alright, now, you can do this 2 or 3 different ways. You can also scoot this back a little bit. I like to do it to where when you get it set on the weapon itself, you want to pull that back and lock it into place. Hope you can see this because I can't see the screen. But you want to lock it back all the way back to full charge. Okay? And then you want to lock that up, the bolt. I'm having trouble getting it to lock. Okay, there you go. Now you push this stock system on until you get close to that charging handle, so you know you're not bumping into anything, and you got proper clearance from the bottom of the charging handle to the top of the buffer tube. Okay? Then you take it and you twist it this way and get it straight. Once you got it straight up and down and you got it as far as you need to go up, put the weapon down and do not touch it for 24 to 48 hours. Let that thing cure. It's going to be cured to the touch within an hour. But you want to be patient. You don't want to push it, okay? You don't want to push it at all. Once that buffer tube mod is done, now you can either collapse the buffer, the stock over on itself like you would normally. Well, I didn't want that. So what I did is right there I pushed the button, I unlocked it and folded it, and on the front I dremeled the paint a little bit and got it nice and chipped up. I put JB Weld there, I closed it, and I JB Welded it to where this will not go. It won't fold at all. Okay? The thing about the PDW, guys, it's an extremely small gun. It's a lot smaller than what the pictures show it to be. I have a KWA MP7, and I put the power up suppressor on the front of it, and with this stock fully extended and the MP7 fully extended with the silencer, they're the same length. That's how small this weapon is. The MP7 from here to here is the same length the bodies are. Almost identical. So it's a very tiny gun. And there is a asset to being able to have a small gun in a CQB environment. You know, i.e. you're going to be turning corners and stuff like that. Personally, I can clear a building with a full-length M16A2. You know, it just comes with training and time. But I like the rifle. It's a great little gun. But I was tired of this stuff venting, the gas venting back in my face and getting under my mask. And this little tiny thing just made it look cheap to me. So I decided to do that mod, and then the Honey Badger was born. So basically, that's how I got that mod. And hopefully that will help you guys out. Airsoftkilo, hope you liked the video. I don't have another PDW to do the mod to in real time to show you each step as I go along. I hope that it was enough for me to explain each step to you. But the very important thing is JB Quick Weld, watch your times because it sets up fast. 2, make sure that you take this stock tube and your stock of choice to the hardware store with you and try out all the different sizes of sockets. And you don't want it to be where you have to hammer in. You want it to take up as much space as possible. Therefore, it's like an adapter, so to speak. You're going from small to large because the nub is too small for this, and it's just a whole buttload of JB Weld and a mess. So you want to take up that space with this, okay? And you don't want any of that rattling. This is obviously way too small. So you want to go and make sure that you test fit your socket of choice. As long as you've got a 1/4 inch drive, that's what this hole is right here. This is a 1/4 inch drive. Then the outside is fine. But you have to have a 1/4 inch drive. Okay, don't worry about it. As long as it's 1/4 inch and it's big enough here, you're good to go. This mod can be done in about 30 to 45 minutes with the proper use of the tools and prep and everything, and in and out the door. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you guys out.